Very eventful day so far. Coming up on 10:30 on this Thursday morning, the flood watch. Of course, I think overall the big weather headline up today, tonight, and tomorrow. Some of the higher 24-hour rain totals are one of the highest ones I've seen. 2.52 inches up in Astoria, and we mentioned this yesterday. It does appear that the kind of the bullseye of the high water issues overall will be the rivers coming out of the Willapa Hills, and then also the Coast Range. Of course, Willapa Hills just north of the Columbia River, that mountain range changes states. So in that area, we have the Grays River up in Washington, 16-foot crest at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's 4 feet above flood stage. The Nehalem in Vernonia still expected to crest somewhere near the 12-foot flood stage tonight. We've got the Wilson River. Now that crest has been pushed back to 9 this evening. That's out at Tillamook and expected to go over 15 feet. So that's a little bit more than 3 feet above the flood stage there. Multiple reports of debris and high water over some of the roadways along the coast, including 101 just south of Seaside. Of course, the big news headline of the day, probably that landslide closing all lanes of I-84 out in the gorge. That's closed between Troutdale and Hood River. Still, as we come up on 10:30 this morning, and you can imagine the work they must have to get that cleaned up. So I'm not sure when that's going to happen. It is raining all the way up through 6,000 feet today. Again, this was a warm front that came in last night. That's why the snow level went way up. That was the latest trigger to all the rain we had last night. And that's why when you stepped outside this morning, it was in the mid-50s. Very warm batch of air. The one spot that's kind of trapped. So the warm air came in with breezy south winds, right? So again, you get into the Hood River Valley, the mountains block that south wind. So the gorge is in the 50s in Crown Point, warming in the West Gorge. And then you get to Hood River down low, and you've got temperatures that are still stuck at this hour, pretty close to freezing, with what's generally been a mix of liquid precipitation falling. Still thinking that little batch of shallow cold air at Hood River at some point today has to get flushed out of there. Winds are light and west in the valley right now. So once that flushes out, temperatures would rise, and you folks would get back to just more of a noticeable rain. But that's the one spot that's not just warm and wet. Behind me, the radar, if you could see, here's Salmon Creek area, Vancouver right here. So the heaviest rain rates have lifted north of Vancouver. And while it's still drippy outside, you get down into Salem, there's actually some dry weather down toward Albany. And Portland certainly has a chance to get some dry weather this afternoon with the heaviest rain again shifting up to our north. Now, all of that, the rain itself will pick back up and we'll get more solid, steady rain areas starting this evening through tomorrow morning. That's the cold front coming in. Weather Service has popped up a wind warning for the coast tonight into tomorrow morning for possible 65 miles per hour winds. The rain with that front and any wind threat, for the most part, gets out of here by noon on Friday. And then we're finally done with what's been a long stretch of wet weather. So the shower chance might linger Friday afternoon, but we could very easily go dry quickly. Certainly by Friday night, we're completely dry this weekend, and right now I have us completely dry into the mid part of next week. So that'll give area rivers and streams a chance to settle down and for crews to clean up messes, and it'd be nice to get some sun. We get a breezy southeast wind on Sunday and Monday, so those 2 days really ought to be perfectly clear. That's just coming Sunday and Monday. Some cold nights, but highs in the 40s. That's what I have. That's your update. I'll talk to you soon.